Broadcasting live from the vibrant cityscape on the plain of Manhattan, this is Tap Tap Concede. Welcome, everybody, to Tap Tap Concede. My name is Graham, and joining me is Nelson.
Hi.
And Cameron.
Huh?
And we are in a different studio today because our usual studio where we film Tap Tap is full of the Friday Night's playmats. 1,000 playmats that we just spent the morning signing, so we're all sore in the arm. But also, it was very recently the Spider-Man debut day, all-day paper fight stream that we did, and we wanted to talk a little bit about Spider-Man. If you are, because of course this goes up on Monday, so if you're listening to this or watching this and you haven't seen that yet, do check out the VOD, which will also be on the LRRMTG YouTube channel. It's a fun time. You get to see some of the Spider-Man cards in action. And we're going to talk about our decks. But first, I'm going to remind you all, of course, about Card Kingdom. CardKingdom.com/LRR. They sponsor this show, and they're a great place to get your Magic cards. And in particular, Spider-Man. You can get some Spider-Man Magic cards. Because these only exist in paper, so you got to go to Card Kingdom to get them. Woo. Tell them we sent you. They'll give you a little button that says a funny thing. I never know what it says these days, but it's good.
It's currently clever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And want to shout out also to Dragon Shield. Use the code LRRMTG5 to get yourself a 5% discount on anything you buy on their site. And finally, and most importantly, everything we do here at Loading Ready Run is brought to you by you and your support of our Patreon or by becoming a member on this YouTube channel. Thank you so much. So yeah, we did 2 pods, a pick 2 draft, and then we determined the winners of those pods, and then those winners battled. If you haven't seen the thing and you don't want to be spoiled, I'm about to tell you how that all shook out. So pause this, watch that, and then come back. Great? Good? Okay? Awesome. Nelson won. Great job.
Nice. Welcome back, everyone. Nelson won.
Yeah.
I hope you all enjoyed watching me win. It was fun.
Yeah. It was a fun day. I faced you in the finals.
Yes, you won your pod.
I won the first pod.
That's right.
Cameron, you were in pod 2?
I was. I got run over by Ben.
Yes.
Who had the green-white web-slinging counters and citizens deck.
Oh, interesting. Right.
So he went wide, then went tall, then went through me.
I think Ben was the only one in our pod who picked up green. Like, I didn't notice from the draft in pack 1 that green was open. It seemed like blue-white was open, and then Kathleen jumped into it.
Yes.
That's where she landed.
I think Corey was similar in the first pod as well, as that Corey was in green-white, and most other people were not green or white.
Nice. Okay, so...
Because you ended up Grixis.
Yes.
We had Surge went full Grixis in our pod as well. I'm red-black. You're
Blue-black.
blue-black, yeah.
Yeah. I'm Grixis only like a hint, a wisp. I've got 1 blue pip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tell us about your deck.
Okay. So I went with the Mayhem deck. And
So did I.
yeah, no, it is good and fun. I like the mechanic a lot. It was one that I was actually looking forward to, honestly. I was surprised that Spider-Man has not 1 but 2 mechanics that I'm like kind of a big fan of. I love madness, so Mayhem seemed like a really good fit for me, as does web slinging, because I love ninjutsu.
Oh, yeah, right.
So this is like oddly a Cameron coded set. So I pulled out a couple of cards from my deck that I thought performed quite well, or at least worked. And I've got them in kind of like 3 categories of cards with mayhem that I thought were good, cards that enable mayhem that are also good, and then cards that get bonuses from mayhem. And I've tried to keep them at like common level, right? So you know what to look for. So in the cards that enable mayhem, Masked Meower, just top to bottom, great card. You know, this cracks in for 1, 2, maybe 3 damage if you're lucky and your opponent's kept a slow hand. And then it enables mayhem by drawing you a card. Right?
Yeah, it's a 1 red mana for a 1/1 with haste. Discard it, and then it has the ability discard a card and sacrifice this creature to draw a card. And you're like, oh, okay, well then I'm down. I'm pitching a card and sacrificing this creature, so I'm 2 for 1ing myself. Except if you discard something with mayhem, how does real quick, Nelson?
Yeah.
Judge Nelson.
No worries.
How does mayhem function?
So Mayhem says you may cast this card from your graveyard if you discarded it this turn for its Mayhem cost. You can cast it for its Mayhem cost. So it lets you cast these spells as long as you, early in the turn, had it in your hand and then discarded it. You can't cast your Mayhem if you milled it, or like if it died. It doesn't just let you keep playing it that turn. But similar to Madness. When you discard it, you can cast it. With Madness, you have to cast it right away when you discard it. With Mayhem, it lets you, maybe discard it during combat and then cast it afterwards, or whatever, or however you want, as long as you cast it that turn.
Critically, Mayhem requires you to abide by all timing restrictions.
Yeah.
So the Mayhem cards that I liked either were cards that are fine to play in your second main phase, or are cards that have haste or flash. Excuse me, flash. But the other card that I found was a really good enabler was Pumpkin Bombardment.
Yep.
You do this at sorcery speed, so you're not going to get yourself by discarding something that you can't play.
So it's a single red-black hybrid mana for a sorcery that deals 3 damage to target creature. And then the additional cost is either you pay 2 generic mana, so it's just 3 mana for 3 damage for a creature. And honestly, that's probably fine. I did that at one point.
Paying retail for this is...
It's okay. Yep.
Or you discard a card. So 1 mana and discard a card, 3 damage to something. But then if you discard something with Mayhem, then that's just value, baby.
Yeah, it's like the Diet Pepsi of Lightning Axe, and sometimes that's okay.
Yeah.
Right? It's a good card. It's going to hit a lot of things in this format, although I think 4 toughness is kind of a break point. I found at least there's a lot of irritating 4 toughness creatures around.
Right.
But Pumpkin Bombardment is going to solve problems for you and enable you to get ahead while doing it. Really enjoyed it.
Since you and I have a lot of similarities, let me throw one more common level discard enabler into the discussion, which is the Inner Demons Gangsters. 3 and a black for a 3/4 human rogue villain, and it just has a static ability, sorcery speed only to do this, but you discard a card and then it gets +1/+0 and menace until end of turn. So you pitch something, then maybe you get to attack for 4 and then do something later.
Yes.
I have some uncommon ones that I'll talk about when we get to my deck, but
yeah, being able to crack in with inner for 4 damage, giving it mana, it's great.
Yeah.
Also, the sorcery speed restriction keeps you from getting yourself. This feels like a very friendly way to introduce Madness to people, because Madness has a lot of ins and outs and tricks you can do with it. Mayhem, at least in this set, does not.
Right.
They've tried to keep it pretty straightforward.
I hadn't made the connection to ninjutsu with web slinging, but it really does feel like Mayhem is slower Madness and web slinging is slower ninjutsu.
Although there are some fun tricks, web slinging turns up on odd cards. There's a counter spell with web slinging on it.
Oh, wow.
That casts for a single blue.
Right, I've got that
and
one.
That counters
the Spidey
instant
sense.
sorcery or activated ability.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. That's a fun design space. Spidey sense, yeah.
Yeah, so this card...
Spider sense.
Spider-Sense, yeah. So normally 1 and a blue for counter target instant, sorcery, or triggered ability.
It's fine. And
then you can web slinging for 1 blue. So this one, it's an instant. You're always going to cast it while there's some other ability or spell on the stack. So not the same setups as ninjutsu, right? Not the same... best case scenario or whatever is ninjutsu, but still, an interesting way to use this ability. There were also actually before ninjutsu and Magic, there were the gating creatures back in one of those late 90s sets. I don't remember. You can let me know which set Cavern Harpy is from. But there was a whole cycle of those that were you have to return a creature of a certain color. With web slinging, it's just you have to return a tapped creature.
Yes.
So more similar to ninjutsu, whereas with ninjutsu it has to be an unblocked attacking creature.
I kind of want to play this in a standard deck with fear of missing out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right, and just have a lot of ETB effects and cards that return things and just generate value and then die. Right, and then lose to your opponent who's playing VV Cauldron. Right,
well,
yeah.
Them's the breaks.
Yeah.
One other thing I wanted to mention about Mask Meower is that it's missing a few words.
Oh.
And those words are activate this ability only at sorcery speed. This can be done at any time. You can block with this and then sacrifice it to get around an attacker with lifelink. It feels good.
This card looks pretty powerful. The cat here, basically a strict upgrade on Insolent Neonate. I mean, Insolent Neonate had Menace, but I think Haste is a better ability in general.
Yeah, Insolent Neonate, maybe you could crack in for a bit longer for 1 damage.
Right, yeah.
And this lets you crack in on turn 1, right?
Yeah. But worth noting, Insolent Neonate has seen play in like Modern, right? Like there's a lot of words on this card for only one red pip.
I think even if this is just like a straight across side grade from Insolent Neonate 5 through 8, I think gets mileage.
Sure.
That one,
Insolent Neonate 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Right?
Something like that.
if we could see that real quick, it was from, was it Midnight
Shadows
Hunt?
over
Shadows,
It was Shadows.
Yeah, it was a while back.
Okay,
yeah.
but yeah, it was a 1-mana 1/1 vampire that had. Was it the same ability to discard a card and sacrifice it to draw a card?
I think the second line, I think the text box is more or less the same if you just imagine it says menace instead of haste. I don't think there's any mana involved, and I don't know that the ability worked any differently.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to?
How are we doing, James?
Sorry, just a second. I'm not set up for the.
That's fine.
The card draw.
I'll look it up
I'm
and
sorry.
double check.
You're good. Just 1 second. I got it.
Okay. Like I said, we're in a different studio, so we're like, oh yeah, we used to do this in here. Are we still set up for that?
Right.
Yeah, everyone into the hog box.
There you go. You should have it.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Great. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it is exactly the same.
Yeah.
But just has menace instead of haste. Yeah. Okay. Sweet.
Plus, there's cat lords in standard right now.
Oh,
That's true.
I don't know how
this guy
much that's
could-
going to matter,
You
but
could turn into a little beater, right?
Yeah, honestly, within this format, having there's a couple cards that care about how many spiders you have. So.
oh right, and there's Peter Porker.
Yeah,
Could pump your cat probably because he pumps every animal creature type.
Peter Porker loves to pump cats.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
So, what were some of your mayhem payoff stand-ups?
Okay, the ones that I liked a lot were Spider Islanders, which is 3 and a red for a 4/3 Spider Horror Citizen, but it has Mayhem for 1 and a red, which I think is a pretty good rate on a 4/3.
Yeah.
This is going to punch through a lot of things.
Honestly, the cycle of like turn 1, assuming you're on the play, Mass Meower, hit for 1, turn 2, hit for a second one with Mass Meower, then after combat, sack it, draw a card, do this, play this. Pretty good.
That's obnoxious.
Yeah,
2/4
like-
power creature, it can be a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, what was the Madness 0 drop, the worm from Plane Shift? Not Plane Shift.
Nope, I don't know what we're talking about. Sorry.
Arrogant Worm?
Is it Arrogant Worm?
The one that was
do you
3
mean-
mana
do
for
you
the
mean,
4/4?
Basking Root Walla? Is that what you mean? Or
I don't know. I'm conflating probably 3 or 4 different cards. Okay. It was a color shifted card.
Yeah, there was a red 4/4 worm.
Yeah.
Right.
The,
Arrogant
the,
Worm.
the madness was 2 in a red.
Yeah.
So that was 3 mana for a 4/4 trample.
Yeah.
Or it was 5 mana normally. So this is like still 4 power for only 2 mana. on
Yeah,
the
different
mana
card,
cost.
but like valuable role filler, I feel. The other one that I really liked was Swarm Being of Bees. Who is a 2/2 flyer with Mayhem for 1 black
Mayhem for 1.
and Flash.
Right.
Having Flash is really, really useful on this because it, then the timing restrictions are much, much less strict. So you can do this on your opponent's turn. You can do this in response to things. It feels great. Getting out a 2/2 flyer for 1 black mana is something that I love to do. Love to do that. I'm big in favor of it. The only problem with this card is it has legendary.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, a little awkward. Whereas Spider Islanders don't have legendary, so you can just keep flopping them. I think there was probably one of the issues with the pick 2 draft is that the card pool is going to be a lot more limited.
Yeah.
Because it's basically like you're looking at 2 sealed pools.
Right.
Yeah, like you're drafting from 2 sealed pools, and like sometimes they're just not the cards there.
Yeah.
Right?
So Ben in our pool was drafting green white web slinging and was a little bit sad that he didn't see a single copy, and I just don't think we opened one because I don't think anyone else would have taken it, of the 3/3 with web slinging for 1 white. It's is it Amazing Spider-Man? It's like it's like the most generic Spider-Man, or like web sling Spider-Man.
Is this the common one?
Common, yeah. 2 and a white for a 3/3, but it has web slinging 1 white and no other abilities. Anyways, I've described the card in its entirety. It's Spider-Man. I just don't remember exactly what
I know the art
name is.
It's just like it's him with his backpack full of clothes. Oh, Spider-Man Web Slinger. There we go.
Spider-Man, comma, web slinger, not web slinging Spider-Man.
Yeah.
What was I thinking? Anyways, yeah, this is just a 3/3
Dang, yeah.
for 1 mana if you want to bounce your tapped creature.
Yeah,
And-
you, like return Spider Manifestation.
sure.
Right.
Yeah. He also had, again, Ben in his deck, he had one that, Spider Girl,
Yes.
which was just white and green for, I want to say, a 2/2 flyer. Or sorry, a 2/2 that was
flying
flying
on
on
your
your turn.
turn.
But
Yeah.
when Spider-Girl leaves the battlefield, she leaves a citizen behind.
Right.
So really good for
Cracking in.
you
flying,
you
yeah.
crack in, then you web slinging out something bigger, and then you get a citizen behind. In fact, his sequencing was that I saw in a couple games was Spider Girl, and then attack with it, and then web slinging Miles, one of the Miles Morali,
Yes.
for the web slinging for 2 and a green. That when it's a 4/3, and when it enters, you rampant growth.
Yeah, you get to
for
search
free.
your library for a basic land and put it into play. When
And
it's
yeah.
battlefield.
and Spider Girl leaves a human behind.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, that's
yeah,
really powerful.
Yeah. Ben also had the radioactive spider. This isn't a common, but 1 green mana for a 1/1 reach death touch. And then you can sacrifice it to search your library for spider hero, but it's just a 1-drop with death touch. So, your opponent might not be incentivized to block it. And then you've got a 1 mana creature you can replay to make your web sling cost only cost 1 more mana to just get your whole board back, right? Like you get your investment back for only 1 mana. Because getting this thing to be tapped is not that hard because of death touch.
And then in terms of like the card that I drafted that I really wanted to play and never turned up, just did not show up for work, was Green Goblin Revenant.
Oh, okay.
3 black red for a 3/3 flyer with death touch.
Right, this one's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's always going to be able to swing in, right? Which is important because whenever Green Goblin attacks, discard a card, then draw a card for each card you've discarded this turn. This is your signpost uncommon,
Yeah.
right? Like, if this guy gets online, your opponent's in deep trouble.
With only 5 draft archetypes, I think there's more than one signpost uncommon, because I've also got one that I
really?
that I'll talk
We
about.
could maybe order them though, right? Like this one might be the higher pick because it's sort of it's not a fast card, but it is like a big closer. Like this card is only an uncommon, but if you can get it going, if you ever like attack, discard a mayhem card, and then and you also looted it the turn before that, or you can sacrifice your cat and then attack and get the trigger. Like if you ever draw an extra
Yeah, if
card
you're
off this
attacking
thing,
also with, say, Spider Gwen Free Spirit.
right? Which one's with that? Yeah, when it attacks.
She's significantly not as good. Spider Gwen Free Spirit is 2 and a red for a 2/3 with reach.
Hey, hold on.
Whenever Spider Gwen becomes tapped, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. So if you're crewing a vehicle with her, she's great. She's a lot harder to attack with.
Right. She's just a 2/3, reaches defensive ability, obviously. But yeah, say you get to curve this into the Green Goblin, then you attack and you get to discard 2 cards.
Yeah.
Draw 3 cards back or whatever. That's very exciting.
She didn't impress me, but it might have just been the nature of being up against a significantly better
I
deck.
think I got to rummage once.
Every reach creature is relevant in this format, I think. Yeah, a
lot of flying.
and reach.
Yes.
Shockingly, the Spider-Man set has, spiders in it, and a bunch of them have reach, and it's relevant.
I observed this during the stream, but I appreciate how they managed to walk what I think is a pretty fine line between it's Magic, so a spider always has reach.
Right.
That like some of them have reach, some of them can fly, some of them have conditional flying, some of them, that like
Some of them jump.
it all sort of makes sense. So
Yeah. No, but they did a good job balancing it, I think. Yeah.
Real quick, that particular Green Goblin, I like that the art on Green Goblin Revenant has like the
mask?
the old style costume, and the like deeply clunky looking glider.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The glider from the Tobey Maguire
No, this is like
Spider-Man
from
movies?
old
Like
comic
old
books.
comics?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Very,
like
very
a
silly.
stand
This
knee
like
joint.
flying skateboard that looks like you're gonna die if you put your feet on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll just sort of like also get into some of my cards while we're talking about Cameron's deck. So one of my 2 first picks, pick 2 draft, was Scarlet Spider Kane. And so black red for a 2/1 with Menace. And Scarlet Spider also has Mayhem for a Rakdos. Oh. And when Scarlet Spider enters, you may discard a card, and if you do, put a +1/+1 counter on him. And so you can do a sequence where you like sack your Masked Meower, discard Scarlet Spider, draw a card, then play Scarlet Spider for Mayhem, discard say the Spider Islanders, put a counter on Kane, then play your Spider Islanders, and then you have a 3/2 with Menace and a 4/3. Right? So I think that like Scarlet Spider also, I think, quite strong in a different way than Green Goblin Revenant in the Red Black Mayhem deck. Reminder that because there are fewer cards in here than a normal set, they've determined that there's only sort of 5 majorly supported draft archetypes, and one of them is Red Black Mayhem. So there's a lot of support for that. Another uncommon that I had, that Nelson also had, was Shriek Troublemaker. 2 in a Rakdos for a 2/3. More free discard. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may discard a card. When you do, target creature can't block this turn. And then a static ability of Sonic Blast. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, this Shriek deals 1 damage to that player. So again, main phase, you discard something, that thing can't block, then you play the thing you've discarded, presumably. So the fact that it's like no downside discard enabling is very good.
Shriek was a very important card in our games. Like we had a game, our game 2. I would have kept playing if it was like a 2/3 that didn't have all those words on it. It's just like, because even though you're including in the deck to think, I want to get mayhem value, I want to turn my mayhem cards online, pay less mana and get good spells, and a lot of my looting or a lot of my cards draw a card when I discard a card. This one doesn't even do that, but the can't block ability combined with the sort of Blood Artist effect just means that like lethal combat is like a turn sooner than you would expect, right?
Yeah.
Like if they only have one, if you have like some pressure, like I think I was at 10 life, but I can only play 1 creature in a turn. It's just like, well, you have 3 dudes, and so you can just, if you have a spare card in hand, or even if you don't, because it's your first main phase, you can just like discard whatever you draw to just say your 1 creature can't block.
Yeah.
And then I get to hit you,
like it's one of those situations where you're like, oh, I wanted to get like some kind of bonus out of it. I guess I'll just have to kill my opponent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Similarly, my 2, I think, I also had 2 copies of Spider Islanders, but I think my biggest mayhem payoffs, apart from Kane himself, was Electro's Bolt, which is just 2 in a red for a sorcery to deal 4 damage to a creature. But again, the mayhem cost is only 1 in a red. So, the fact that it only costs 2 if you mayhem it makes it very easy to discard it to something and kill something else.
Yeah, this is like the what was the Madness burn spell?
There's been a few.
So it was in Shadows, and it was in
The one
it's like Lightning Bolt.
Yeah,
but it's got Madness.
It's a 1 red, but the Madness is just a single red.
Right.
Yeah, that one.
I remember this card, but I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I can see the artwork.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like some burning skeleton people.
Yeah.
Huh. Weird.
Well,
okay, that card.
Purifying Fire or something like that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
The anger, fury.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Keep going.
But the other one that I really liked, and it came up a lot. This is kind of funny, actually, because Cameron, you were talking earlier about the Mayhem cards having haste, and then you caught yourself because you meant flash, because you were talking about the timing restrictions. Raging Goblinoids does have haste.
Sounds like a slur.
And a very funny name.
Yeah.
Right. Fiery Temper.
Fiery Temper.
It actually
Yeah.
was originally from the first Magic or the first Madness set, Torment.
Yes.
It's a reprint from Torment.
Yeah.
Fiery Temper.
So yeah, Raging Goblinoids is a 5/4 for 5 with haste, which is fine. But the Mayhem is only 3. It's 2 in a red.
We're going to talk about this card on the other Magic podcast.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Because being able to, for example, let's use Shriek, right? So it's like first main phase, discard Raging Goblinoids. That creature can't block. Also, I now have a 5/4 with haste attacking you.
Yeah. That's a big turn.
Yeah. Goblinoids is really sweet.
And a really funny name.
Yes,
Yeah.
a very funny name.
Yeah, this is kind of just like, Lightning Axe, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's neat that it's just Raging Goblin, but like bigger. Because it's got that name. Like that's another Magic card. This is just a 1/1 red
With
yeah.
haste.
with haste with the Goblin.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Good shout out. Raging is like the haste coating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else did you have that was a not Mayhem necessarily standout to you? Because I have a couple as well.
I mean, Wisecrack.
Just wisecracks.
Yeah.
Very
Wrong
good.
card. Yeah.
Like you take these.
Yeah,
two in a red instant. Target creature deals damage equal to its power to itself. If that creature is attacking, wisecrack deals 2 damage to that creature's controller. It's demoralizing effect.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I always felt like I should be saying something clever when I did this.
Right,
But
you
couldn't
should-
come up with anything.
Yeah, you should always have like stop hitting yourself at the ready or whatever. You know, you need to be able to also play your opponent out. But this card is a beautiful design top to bottom and a very scary thing for your opponent to be holding up in draft.
I also appreciate that there are, not all, but there are several Spider-Man or Spider-Friend cards that that this doesn't kill. There are many of them that have larger toughness than power, and so Wisecrack can't work on them, which by itself, which I think is funny. And yeah, I do appreciate that it deals psychic damage to the creature's controller.
Yeah. Sorry, one more like madness adjacent card that I really wanted to talk about. Speaking of unsupported color pairs, Spider-Man 2099 casts for a blue and a red for a Spider-Human hero. He is a 2/3 and has From the Future. You can't cast Spider-Man 2099 during your first, second, or third turns of the game in the year 2999. He has double strike vigilance, and at the beginning of your end step, if you've played a land card or cast a spell this turn from anywhere other than your hand, Spider-Man 2099 deals damage equal to its power to any target.
So
I got to do this once, and then Ben learned that this has to go.
And you killed the radioactive spider, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I did.
Right, and chat was all getting wild. It's like, it's the canon event.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it really is that what happens?
I don't
So
know.
was
Chat said that. Yeah.
Spider, because this is Miles Morales from the future.
it's a different
Isn't it?
person.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember their name offhand.
Okay.
Oh, okay. But yeah, going back and killing the initiating spider,
Right.
feels like a grandfather paradox.
Yeah,
but this
exactly.
guy just like. It's great. This feels like a great reward for dipping into blue. This was my one blue pip in the deck.
Nice.
My first picks were Scarlet Spider Kane and also Spider-Man 2099,
Hell yeah.
but I didn't end up getting. Someone at the table was picking up all of our
fixing?
blue black land. Several copies of the blue black land went by, but only when there was other better red black cards in there. So I didn't get to splash. Also, I read it and I was like, yeah, but how am I going to play a land or cast a spell from anywhere other than my hand? Not realizing that that's literally what Mayhem does.
Yeah,
but anyway,
Drafting this deck that
Yeah,
plays half its cards from the graveyard.
I kind of want to play this as a commander. I don't know what this deck would look like.
sounds fun to me.
Storm. and 2 damage to you in addition.
Is it play a land or cast a spell or activate an ability? Now, okay. I saw this guy going around before you picked it. Like, I guess there's probably a cycle of these color pair cards that aren't supported in rare, right? I know there's a Mr. Negative card that's black and white, which is cool, very clever.
The spot.
Yeah, and the spot, exactly, also black and white. So there's some of them in the off color pairs, and splashing isn't impossible. We're coming to you live from the vibrant cityscape, but my deck was blue-black, and I legitimately was like looking through it in a second, like, I really like Spider-Man 2099, but do I have any ways to cast stuff from my graveyard? But I'm blue-black, so that's not really what it's doing in this set.
Yeah, this blue-black card felt a bit like, you know how in Kaladesh, the blue-red uncommon, the guy who made Thopters, didn't actually go in a blue-red deck. He went in a blue-green deck.
Whirler Virtuoso.
Yeah, Whirler Virtuoso went in the blue-green deck because the blue-green deck was the one that was really good at making tons of energy.
Yep.
Right.
And the
And
blue-red deck
it could
was...
easily splash that.
Sorry,
other pip.
I'm saying that, and I realize there's a card on top of my stack that lets me cast spells from somewhere else, but we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then other just like good value cards, Spider-Man Noir.
Oh, yeah, this card's 5 mana, but kind of worth it, right?
Yeah. 5 mana, so kind of steep, but he's a 4/4. That's pretty decent. He's got Menace all on his own. And whenever a creature you control attacks alone, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Then surveil X, where X is the number of counters on it. So it's a pseudo haste effect.
Right.
Like you get
Sort of
in with...
it's like better exalted.
Yeah.
It pretty much, it's coded exactly like that, right? Like they're let's give a black creature exalted, but it's better.
Yeah.
So that's neat.
So this will, again, this feels like an off-color splash in the blue-white, or off-color splash. It feels like a splash in the blue-white modification deck.
Sure. Right, because it modifies each creature every time you attack alone. Yeah.
But yeah, no, this guy will just like cracks in for damage. Something else will crack in for damage the next turn. If he's your biggest creature, he's going to get in probably.
This is also a really good follow-up to Morbius, the Living Vampire, if you're in the blue-black deck, because it only has 1 toughness, 2 blue-black for a 3/1 vampire scientist villain with flying, vigilance, and lifelink, which is a
good.
badass set of 3 abilities to have on the same card. Arguably better than flying, death touch, and lifelink, maybe even, but don't tell Vampire Nighthawk I said that. And then it also can exile itself from your graveyard to look at the top 3 of your library and put 1 into your hand, the rest in the bottom of the order. So it replaces itself after it's died, or if you discard it. Like, this is the thing the blue-black deck can do. It can also use like the looting effects to just like put stuff in your graveyard that you can then exile for value. But Morbius only has 1 toughness, so if you can just get some extra counters from your Spider-Man Noir friend, then you can get in for more big swings with lifelink.
Sweet.
Yeah, definitely. And then the last card I wanted to talk about, even though it's a rare, so you probably won't be seeing it that often, Electro, Assaulting Battery. 1 red for a 2/3 flyer who has you don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end.
Okay.
Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, add red. And when Electro leaves the battlefield, you may pay X. When you do, he deals X damage to target player.
Yeah, that
I
seems obnoxious.
completely did not exploit this card to its full value. I should have been tapping everything in end step.
Oh, were you forgetting to just float all your red mana?
Yeah.
Darn.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, it took me 2 pick 2 drafts before I remembered to pick 2 cards.
Yeah. Yeah. It's right there, right?
Yeah.
Like, you just charge him up and then, like, crack in with him and then block, I don't know, some big dork and
Right.
blow up your opponent. Like,
Yeah.
just make combat math really, like, unpleasant.
Yeah.
It's not going to do, like, combat math stuff, but it's going to make your opponent think twice.
You sort of the card forces your opponent to have like specifically Spider-Man No More, which is 1 and a blue enchantment to turn all the abilities off of a creature.
Right, kind of like an encrust.
Yeah, like the sort of Frogify kind of thing, Aaron Crust. Or, I mean, you could maybe have it tap down somehow, and then you can get through in the air and win like that. But all the regular kill spells, like you only have a turn or 2 before you can get this guy off the table safely.
Yeah. Or maybe you'll find yourself in a position where your opponent like swings in and you're like, all right, Electro, I dumped 12 mana into him, and your opponent's like, cool, I go to 8, you die. Right?
Sure.
Like, that would be my experience with this guy, basically.
Right. Also, a pretty good web slinging target if you happen to be,
yeah.
like those are green white cards, but say you've got the mana because you're a green red deck, and then you just because that's supported, right? We haven't talked about that archetype yet, but you could just play the green web slinging cards to just get all your mana cooking with Electro, and then flicker him just to get the leads play trigger.
That is a tasty option with this guy.
Yeah.
I just know that whoever pitched this as the name for the card made a sound like doo hoo hoo hoo. Some other cards that were in my deck, because we've already talked about a bunch of them as very similar to Cameron's. I also had Pumpkin Bombardment and then Wisecrack and Spider Islanders and all that.
And the Goblinoids, yeah.
Yeah. Rhino's Rampage.
Oh my god, yeah. Yet another card we're going to talk about on Northrend Showdown. Spoilers.
No kidding. It's red or green, so a single Gruul hybrid mana for a sorcery. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Then it fights a creature an opponent controls. That would already just be fine.
Yeah, that's
Already
an
it's upgrade over Pit Fight.
better than Prey Upon for 2 different reasons.
Yeah.
No, Pit Fight's an instant, isn't it?
Is Pit Fight? Oh, okay.
Pit Fight's instant, yeah. But anyway, when excess damage is dealt to the creature an opponent controls this way, destroy up to 1 target non-creature artifact with mana value 3 or less. So I did have a very fresh turn against you where I was able to...
This was so wild.
I played Shocker, who I'll talk about in a second, used this Shocker untapped Spider Manifestation. I was able to cast this to fight your Doc Ock, but then that Shocker then had 6 power, so then I could blow up your hot dog cart.
Yes.
Yeah. So like Shocker comes down, punches Doc Ock through a hot dog cart.
Yeah.
Basically,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a very cinematic feeling card.
Yeah. No, that was a gigantic turn.
Yeah, Shocker, by the way, is 6 mana, 5/5. It's he's an uncommon. During your turn has First Strike, which is fine. I never got to attack with him, but more importantly, his Vibro Shock gauntlets he's got 2 fists, you see, and he'll shock a creature and that creature's controller. So 2 damage to a creature, 2 damage to that creature's
Graham's
controller.
explaining that he never got to attack with them because after that turn he just described, we went on to the next game.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
true.
No, give him the shocker with your vibro fist. The flavor text: mock him at your peril.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I briefly mentioned Spider Manifestation. This card's great.
Yeah.
1 in a hybrid Gruul, so 1 in a red or 1 in a green for a 2/2 Spider Avatar with Reach. Taps for red or green, so just like a 2 mana 2/2 Reach mana dork is already like I would be running that.
Solid. Yeah.
But then this other ability, whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, you untap this creature. So you tap this to cast that spell, and then maybe you also get to attack with it, or tap or cast a different thing. Like this accelerates your mana in a potentially even bigger way than it initially appears.
yeah. Yeah.
So,
just
yeah.
on turn 5, you can pull off that shocker plus rampage plan.
Yeah. So worked out pretty well.
Can you game this using mayhem spells if you cast?
Yeah.
Say, yeah.
It says mana value, not
Mana
how much
value.
mana. Unlike
Right.
the recent Final Fantasy set, which cared about how much
much
mana
mana
you
you-
actually spent to cast stuff.
Yeah.
This one just cares about mana value. So if you put it in a deck with Delve or any other kind of alternate costs, free spells will trigger this thing's untapped. If you put your Force of Will on the stack.
So
Can't
like,
believe they didn't print a ritual with mayhem. God,
So-
Wizards hates fun.
the example like Spider Islanders, right? They mayhem for 1 in a red, but the mana value is 4. So even if you're only casting them for 2, then you still get to untap your Spider Manifestation. It's very, very cool.
Yeah.
And then one other card I wanted to talk about because it was weird. It only came down once, but it seems fascinating to me. It's called Cheering Crowd. I'd love to know if you're talking about this on North 100. Just
I don't think we're planning on it, but it's a cool card. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see someone playing this in a game of Eternal just because. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's 1 and another hybrid Gruul. There's a lot of hybrid red-green. So it's 2 mana for a 2/2 human citizen. At the beginning of each player's first main phase, that player may put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. If they do, they add a colorless mana for each counter on the creature. So you play it, you pass the turn. Your opponent can choose to make your 2/2 into a 3/3, and then they get a colorless mana. And
Yeah.
like, maybe you don't want them to have that mana. I don't know. But if they do that, then it comes back to you. You obviously put a counter on your creature. Now it's a 4/4, and you add 2 mana. And hypothetically, it just sort of keeps going. But I mean, at some point, they probably kill it because it's getting out of control. But
Yeah, I mean,
it's weird.
The problem with the card, I think, is like if they can kill it, then they get some free mana, and possibly, you're gonna regularly want to make it bigger.
Yeah.
Unless you end up in a situation where you know that they're going to be able to kill it and exploit the mana, in which case maybe you'll stop. Like it's very interesting little riddle of a card. But the baseline play is like you're always pumping it, and they probably aren't.
Yeah.
Meaning like it's a 2/2 for 2 that just gives you mana and gets bigger every turn, and then eventually they kill it. The turn that they kill it, it's the beginning of their first main phase. So yeah, so if they draw the, in limited, it'll be Venom's Sting, Venom's Hunger, yeah, sorcery, 5 mana, costs 2 less if you control a villain, destroy target creature, you gain 2 life, right? So this kills anything that isn't hexproof, or indestructible, which there's not a lot of in the set. So this is the regular common black, answer anything no matter how big it is. But the turn they do that, they get a bonus of mana, which could be a problem, but for 2 mana, like this thing gets bigger every turn and gives you back the mana you spent on it. So I really like it. I think there's a reason it's rare, right? Like that, I wouldn't want all of my drafts to include my opponent obnoxiously playing this. Like, can you imagine you play this and then the next turn you play another one of these, and now it's just like, oh, every turn your guys are getting bigger and like
generating multiple mana.
You're gonna run out of spells in your hand the following turn. Right, like everything's going to be on the table. So I like that card a lot.
Yeah, it's interesting. Now, with your deck, the winningest of the day, talk about that card last, I think. 'Cause that one's like...
I'll talk about my first pick of the draft last. That's fine. Yeah, I've got a few cards I want to talk about. Why don't we start? I mentioned Venom's Hunger. I was jamming that.
Yeah.
Morbius is certainly one of the signpost uncommons. I think it's the only blue-black uncommon I saw in the draft. So I'm not sure if there's another one in the format that's like more of like a big, bright signal. But Morbius is a powerful card. So probably if you get past Morbius, like consider getting into blue-black.
Yeah, the archetype is like stuff goes in your graveyard and then you can use it. And as you said, there's several cards. There's like a flying beetle is like another. It's a 3/3 flyer.
Yeah, we can talk about that one actually. It's good. Yeah, Beetle
blue.
Legacy Criminal. So the archetype name from the little insert is Conniving Villains. So
Right,
you're conniving. So your creatures are getting bigger because you're putting non-land cards in the graveyard whenever you draw and discard with the connive ability. And some of the cards you put in the graveyard have more abilities like Morbius and Beetle. So Beetle is 3 and a blue for a 3/3 legendary human rogue villain with flying and 1 and a blue. Exile this from your yard, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. It gains flying until end of turn. Activate this only at sorcery. So this is like a good example of what this deck wants to do. The most common source of conniving I saw, I drafted 2 of these, but I think I only included one, but it's a really good card. Unstable Experiment, 1 and a blue instant. Target player draws a card, then up to 1 target creature you control connives. So you'll always get your card back because this targets you and the creature. If they remove your creature in response, then you won't loot, I think. Is that how that works? I think there's instances where
I think if the creature goes away,
you still get to connive, don't you? Sorry, I just did the judge video too.
Yeah.
I think maybe if the creature's not there, you still get to connive. It won't get a counter, but you still looting is good. Maybe you want to put your beetle in the graveyard. Maybe you're digging for a land or whatever. So check in with other me that's doing a judge video on whether or not you get to get that +1/+1 counter. I think maybe you do.
I think so.
I want to mention, because you're looting a lot, this card gets a bit better. This is one of the common kind of payoffs for the archetype in
Doc Ock
blue.
is common?
Yeah, this is well. There's
multiple Doc.
Yeah, I know,
there's multiples,
but this one's common?
regular Doc Ock that turns into an 8/8 is common.
This one's really good.
Yeah, it's good. 4 and a blue for Doc Ock, Sinister Scientist. It's a 4/5 legendary human scientist villain again. As long as there are 8 or more cards in your graveyard, this has base power and toughness 8/8. And as long as you control another villain, Doc Ock has hexproof. You're going to be drafting a bunch of villains if you're in blue-black, so the hexproof is generally online once you've gotten to 5 mana, unless things are going terrible and your opponent just had a turn where they played Shocker into Rhino's Rampage, and then you untapped after having like 4 permanents, and now you have 0. Otherwise, generally, this will have hexproof.
Yeah, I mentioned it on the stream, but this feels a lot like the evolution of those kind of like blue common
Sea serpents.
Sea serpents, like the 5/6 that has island walk or can't attack.
I always think of those
your
as
opponent
like
controls an island.
Yeah, I guess it's the power creep, right? Like those used to cost 6 mana, like blue, and 4 got you like some big idiot that was hard to attack into and threatens to attack somehow.
Yes.
And that they kept doing variations of that. And for the longest time too, at 5 mana, you got a crab. 4 and a blue was just like 2/5 vanilla, or maybe there's some words, but they don't really matter. Yeah. But it's like for 5 mana, you can spend your turn being like, okay, I'm not countering what you play this turn in this limited game. Instead, I'm just playing a thing that can block any number of 2/2s forever. That's what it does. It blocks 2/2s, and like you need to have a good combat trick to also kill it.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm taking your 2/2 and your combat trick with me. But this is only 5 mana. It's a 4/5 and then has other words on it. So like, I don't know, legendary.
Also, I just love the flavor of Doc Ock always being behind other villains.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He's got someone else to protect him.
Yeah, like why is Electro doing this? Who's the mastermind behind? Is it Doc Ock? It's always Doc Ock. It is always Doc Ock.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about more villains for a minute.
Yeah.
We've got Venom Evil Unleashed. So similar to Beetle, this one has a graveyard ability for 2 and a black. You can exile it. It puts 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature, and that creature gains Death Touch until end of turn, which is like not really as exciting as flying, but 3 mana, 2 +1/+1 counters.
Yeah.
And then Venom, normally 4 and a black for a 4/5 legendary symbiote villain with Death Touch. So
Sick art from Desperate Iceling.
fantastic artwork. Yeah, exactly. So, big chonker, not as exciting maybe as Doc Ock, although Death Touch, but cool graveyard ability. And then I've also got a Mysterio's Phantasm. So this one plays really well with the graveyard exiling or Doc Ock's request to get up to 8 cards in the graveyard. It's 1 and a blue for a 1/3 illusion villain with flying and vigilance, and whenever this attacks, mill a card. And that's a common. There's a lot of words. Or maybe is it uncommon? No, it's common.
Common.
It's a common, yeah. So this one helps you set up your, exiling your stuff to put +1/+1 counters on, as well as, you've got some other cards that care about getting stuff back from the graveyard, so more value there.
Yeah. Come a long way from, what was it, Coral Guard?
Oh yeah,
The 1/3 Merfolk with no words on it.
right. Coral Helm Merfolk or something. One in a blue for a one alongside that. Magic 2011
Yes.
Nats draft winning deck or whatever I had is just like, you got to include these next to your lightning bolts and mana leaks because you just need drops. Like this is a 1/3 with no words on it. And it's a Merfolk, so theoretically get pumped. But no, I don't have a rare Merfolk loaded in my draft deck. It's just a 1/3.
One other thing I like about this guy, not a legendary. You can have multiples.
Yes, you can have 2 of these on the battlefield at the same time, same name. I also like that it's an illusion, but then you don't have to sacrifice or anything. It's just like, hey, it's an illusion creature type. Don't worry about that. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't
toughest
have
illusion in the game.
Doesn't have the illusion thing.
Yeah, you can target it with 1 damage as many times as you want. Well, 3. Okay, also for 1 in a blue, but now if you want to get an uncommon, it's Flying Octobot, a 1/1 robot villain with flying. It's got flying in the name. Yeah, occupation, right? And then whenever another villain you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. This triggers only once each turn. So trying to match the cheering crowd for being a grow creature. This one's not as complicated. It does require you to play a villain.
Yeah.
But, I think I got to a 3/3 flyer in one game before it got murdered.
I had both.
It's only 2 mana.
I had both sides of the supporting Spider-Man coin in the deck. I had the cheering crowd and the angry rabble.
Oh, yeah. Angry Rabble was a relevant card. This is great late, right?
Yeah. It's just briefly, it's also a 2/2 for 2. In this case, 1 and a red. It's got trample. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. And then for 5 in a red, you can put 2 counters on it, only as a sorcery. So the Angry Rabble also keeps getting bigger as it grows. And I just like the cheering crowd versus the Angry Rabble is like whether or not we like Spider-Man today.
Right. And they feel each other really well, too, because Angry Rabble is a great mana sink for all the spare generic mana you're getting out of your cheering crowd.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, I think that's all. Oh no, I got a couple more important. It's important to have cheap villains actually, because the Flying Octobot cares, and Doc Ock wants you to have a villain on the table so that you have, so you have hexproof, and there's probably some other cards that care about whether you have a villain that I haven't had. Oh right, the Venom's Hunger we talked about earlier is cheaper if you have a villain, so you want some 2-drop villains. I've got Common Crook, 1 and a black for a 2/2 human rogue. When this dies, create a treasure. Not that much to say, but this one's fine. And then legendary Spider Slayer Hatred Honed, 2 generic for an artifact creature, human villain. It's a 2/1 that says whenever it deals damage to a spider, destroy that creature. And for 6, and exile this from your graveyard, make 2 tapped 1/1 colorless robot creatures with flying. So
this
pretty
kind of
pretty good against green. They have the green whites a lot of Spider-Mans. Yeah,
kind of like a Deadly Recluse in this set.
Kinda, yeah. It doesn't
Only
have
not
reach,
as good.
but I have the Daily Bugle Building, this land that taps for a colorless or filters a mana, or Smear Campaign for 1 and tap it. Target legendary creature gains menace until end of turn.
It's so funny.
And so, Spider Slayer on a bunch of boards ends up being it's got pseudo death touch, and you can give it menace to just get in for 2, or they have to block with 2 real creatures.
I just love that it's the paper going, Spider-Man is a menace. It's so good.
Yeah. Other artifacts. We talked about my hot dog cart earlier, but this is kind of cool. It's just Manolith, plus you get a food token.
Nice.
And then I want to mention the artifacts that were in my deck, because I also was playing Living Brain, Mechanical Marvel. For 4 generic, you get a 3/3 robot villain that just says, at the beginning of combat on your turn, target non-equipment artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 3/3 until end of turn, and untap it. So you could play your hot dog card, and then the next turn, cast this thing even if you didn't make your land drop, and then get in with it.
Get hit with a hot dog card.
Get hit with the hot dog card. Exactly. Okay, I had some more filler, but let's get to the first picks now. Yeah. I had a first pick I was sure of, and then I belabored about it because there was another good blue or red card in the pack, and I just wasn't sure. So instead, I just took the uncommon black card, and I'm glad I did, because this ended up being one of the best cards in the deck, and I didn't get a second one. Tombstone. Career Criminal. I can't see. 2 and a black for a 2/2 legendary human villain. With when this enters, return target villain from your graveyard to your hand. So not quite Gravedigger. Can't hit any creature. But villain spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. And I had games where I played this even though I didn't have a villain to target, because it makes mana. If you have a bunch of villains in your hand, you're only on 3. You can cast your 4-drop villains if you untap with it.
Does anyone know anything about Tombstone? Is he made of stone? Is he a zombie? He's not a creature type zombie.
He's a tough guy. He just says human, and I think he's just an old
he's like a gangster,
yeah,
but
he's an old tough guy. I don't know. Yeah,
He's a gray ogre.
Yeah, he is.
literally.
He is. Yeah,
all over the place. He's
Yeah,
a gray
kind of
ogre.
like a gray ogre villain mancer.
Yeah. So this guy was just really solid.
yeah.
Okay, let's get on to the juice. This is what this is what won Nelly all the games. And so this card actually does combo with Spider-Man 2099, I think, because your library is a place that's not your hand, right?
Yeah.
So Gwenum Remorseless is a mythic rare for 3 black. It's a 4/4 legendary symbiote spider hero. So I messed up actually and tried to cast it for 4 mana with a Tombstone and play one game because I was like, oh, it's a black mythic. It's probably a villain. No, it's not. This one's a hero. Chat caught me, fortunately, and we backed it up. But it's a 4/4 Death Touch lifelink. And whenever it attacks, until end of turn, you may look at the top card of your library anytime, and you may play cards from the top of your library. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to the mana value rather than pay its mana cost. So, Bolus's Citadel?
Yeah.
Yeah, with lifelink.
With lifelink.
It's so messed up.
That can be your commander.
Yeah, no downside. Why would we have a downside on this?
Yeah,
I can't believe you didn't pass me this.
We want. Yeah. What was I thinking? So this card's very straight up powerful, and I don't know. I think I might have had a turn against Kathleen where I put like 5 cards.
I saw
the top
you go
of my
from,
library.
You hit Kathleen. You gained life up to like 21, and then you paid life down to 8 to just because you only brick with Gwenum if
On your second land.
if you hit 2 lands.
I mean,
in a row.
if you needed to play a land before you attacked for some reason, then suddenly your lands stop you. But usually you'll remember not to do that or not need to.
Yeah, you were just like, I pay 4, I pay 5, I pay 3, I pay, and just
Yeah.
and suddenly you have all these creatures, and it's like, well, what? The funniest thing would have been Kathleen untapping and wrathing, but there is, in contrast to Edge of Eternities, which is still the current format. I want to just mention that briefly, which has several back-breaking wraths. There is one wrath in this format.
Right.
It's called Villainous Wrath. It's 3 black. So hypothetically, she could have cast it, but it's target opponent loses life equal to the number of creatures they control, which would have killed you. Then destroy all creatures. You were at 5 actually. That's what it was.
Yes, I can remember going. I think I was down to 8 the time that I was popping off with Gwen in game 1 against you, and I had a 5-drop on top of my deck when I passed. I was like,
and you were like,
I better not.
Yeah,
Actually,
How did it feel to? I know you love to play cards off the top of a deck, but how did it feel to play them off your own rather than your opponent's? That's got to be a weird feeling.
Cameron knows
right?
I'm a big fan of Gonti, Lord of Luxury. It's fine. I actually, before Gonti was ever printed, there was a card called Future Sight that used to be good enough to see play in various formats.
I don't trust any format where Future Sight isn't good.
Right. Yeah. I think the secret is Future Sight's kind of better than people expect or establish, but
The one time I got to do
kind of
it
extra
and you
work.
brainstorm, and it feels so good.
Get all these lands into my hand, put all these spells on top. Yeah.
What would your advice be for someone playing with Gwenum at this kind of effect for the first time? Because Serge was commenting about like what kind of player someone is, how long they've been playing versus, or as it relates to how deep they're willing to go.
Right. Yeah. So this one, there's a couple interesting things. One is, if you're watching and you are new to Magic and you're just not familiar with how this trigger reads, like if you play the top card of your library, now there's a new top card of your library and you can play that as well. Like, let's just make sure that everybody catches that because you might not the first time you read this card or the first time you looked at the card Future Sight, you might not have known like, why does this matter? It's like you draw 1 extra card per turn or whatever. And it's 5 mana.
Once you attack with Gwenum, that trigger happens, and then if Gwenum dies in combat, you can still do this until the end.
Right,
of the turn.
you have that one turn, and that happened in game 1 or
that
whatever.
happened with us. You were like,
exactly.
oh, so now I can't do that, and I was like,
wait, let's read it one more time. I think I can actually. Okay, so then I did a bit, and then the other one is like, so yeah, you got to look at the board, and there's not that many cards in the set, but generally like. haste creatures exist. Like, so maybe don't pay life down to where you're dead to goblinoids, but if you have a blocker, you're good. Direct damage exists a little bit. Like, does the pumpkin bomb go to the face?
No, it doesn't go face. What about
Or the electros? Shock does. Shock can go face.
Yeah, shock goes face.
Shock is shock.
Don't go to 2.
Merciless,
Don't go to 2.
Merciless Enforcers has a 4 mana activation.
Is there anything with trample and Wisecrack deals you 2 and shock deals you 2. So if your opponent, like, if you're pretty sure from playing the match that, like, or just knowing the format that they have some direct damage, maybe don't put yourself in direct damage range.
I wouldn't go to 2 against red.
I would go to 5 though. I recommend going to 5 life. That's fine. Yeah, that's plenty. Everything you're paying in life translates to some problem for your opponent, right? It's going to translate into them losing life or losing cards or whatever. So, like, yeah, God, if you can choose to spend life instead of mana to do things, you usually should. This card's not fair.
Yeah, no, this is a kill on sight.
Don't pass Gwenum.
Yeah.
The only real question that it leaves me with is if you use Venom's Hunger to kill Gwenum, does Venom get twice as big or does he disappear?
There's probably a bunch of cool paradox questions like that one in the set, right? And we want you to ask all of them in chat. Like, please comment your favorite, like, what would happen if for this set's card specifically.
So the pre-release isn't obviously until it's not even this coming week.
No,
is
it's
it?
not this week. That releases the following weekend. So it's like
Wild.
It's like 11 more days after this episode comes out.
So let us know how that goes eventually.
Old content.
And we will of course also be talking about Through the Omen Paths, which was the same cards again, but in different forms at some point whenever those get revealed. But this was fun. It was fun to play. I do not have the, like, breadth of knowledge or love for the source material for Spider-Man. I watched a lot of the 1994 cartoon, but, like, that was kind of it. Or 97, I don't know, whatever that cartoon was, the 90s cartoon.
Which I was gonna say, like, you're not talking about the 50s cartoon.
No, the moment the opening title song that was like, okay, remember that one?
No, I was only watching Batman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Batman the Animated Series.
That was also good.
What a show.
Yeah. Anyway, but I had fun playing the draft. So yeah, maybe you will enjoy it too. It's Magic the Gathering, so that's the most important part. But that's going to do it for Tap Tap Concede for this week. Thanks for joining us, for listening, and for watching. I want to remind you again about Card Kingdom. Check out cardkingdom.com/LRR. Still time to pre-order Spider-Man. So, I mean, I guess consider that if you want some Spider-Man cards. LRRMTG 5 for 5% off purchases on Dragon Shield. And as always, everything that we do is brought to you by you and your support of our Patreon or becoming a member on this YouTube channel. We really appreciate it. Until next time, I have been Graham, joined by Nelson.
Hey, I was here.
And Cameron. James is on tech. Heather edits these and gets them online. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.